Hello and welcome. Today we are reviewing this guy right here, which is the Ipason Yao Ultra glass mousepad. They did send this over for review, however that will not bias my opinion in any way, shape, or form. So going into the specs really quick, which makes this guy stand out from the competition, is the UV pattern customization, which brings rich designs to your desk. What they mean by that is that for an extra $30, you can make your own custom designed mousepad. So they'll put a picture of whatever you decide right smack dab right here in the middle of this guy, which is actually really high quality. Zooming in on this guy real fast, you just get a very, very nice high quality print. This is one of theirs that they sent over because I just could not decide which one I wanted myself. So they printed one off for me instead. And I have to admit, it looks absolutely fantastic. Just the level of detail here is great. So I imagine if I would have actually done my own custom picture here, it would have been even better. It comes with a micron level etching process, which just makes everything a lot more high quality because a micron is itty bitty. It's very, very tiny. It comes with an ultra smooth surface, which is made specifically for speed, along with low friction for very fast glide, which I have to say this guy is a real pleasure to game on, but I'll get into that a little bit later. It also has dirt and scratch resistant AF coating, an anti-slip silicone pad, which you can see right here, which works really, really well. It is 0.06 inches or 1.5 millimeters thick, weighs 2.03 lbs or 920 grams. It comes in at 500 by 400 millimeters in size. It is made out of a CNC machined one-piece mold with rounded edges, which feel very great. And the pricing comes in at 3 different tiers, which I'll discuss in a little bit. It does come with this top surface is a textured surface, and then it's got an aluminosilicate glass surface underneath that, and then you have the printing layer of the picture itself, and then a shatterproof layer, and then underneath that you have the high friction PU rubber base. Doing a very quick comparison, we have the Ultra model here, and then we have the Essential model here. This is the first one that I reviewed. You can check out that review if you want a little bit more information. And then this is the newest guy that they sent out. To do a quick comparison about this, the difference in thinness is absolutely shocking. I don't know if I'll be able to actually get this to come across in the video or not, especially just because I'm not using the most high quality component, but camera equipment, but it's one of those that literally the rubber pad that is on this is as thick as this entire mouse pad is, which is kind of mind-blowing to me. And the first thing that you notice when you pick this guy up is just how thin and how light and also how well built it is. It's one of those that when I pick up this and I manipulate it and put it everywhere, it doesn't ever feel like it's going to break. Whereas with this guy, it's quite heavy, feels like glass, and therefore I'm way more concerned that I'm going to break it, even though with it being thicker, I probably wouldn't. But it's one of those that this feels a lot more high quality just when I'm manipulating it around, and it being a lot smaller helps a ton. Next, they are the same size, as you can see, and then the texture difference, when I'm feeling this guy, it almost feels like there's a rubber texture to it on the top, where when I'm feeling this guy, it feels like glass. It doesn't feel like I'm touching anything. If you felt the back of your iPhone, it actually feels pretty similar to that, which makes it very, very smooth. And I like the surface feel on this feels a lot more consistent than the surface feel that I get on their Essential mousepad, where I feel like there were times when I was gaming on this one where after a while it would all of a sudden kind of gunk up and I would get kind of stuck. I have not had any issues whatsoever with this mouse pad where I can just be sliding around all day long without any issues. I haven't noticed any tracking issues at all, where I did notice some tracking issues with this. One thing that I have found with this guy is that I don't have to adjust my liftoff distance. So the fix to get it to track correctly on the Essential, I had to raise my liftoff distance. For this, I can leave the liftoff distance to the lowest setting and it still tracks everything just fine without any issues. And I found that my accuracy for this, I already thought my accuracy was way better on this than a cloth mouse pad, but going from this to this is like another leap, where now I feel even more accurate because there is almost no friction that I'm feeling when I'm playing on this guy. It's also pretty quiet when I'm moving it around, where I really don't even hear myself moving this around, especially if I have a headset on, and it's not distracting if other people are in the room either. Tracking, control, precision, all of that next level for my aim potential and everything like that. Highly recommend getting a glass mouse pad because it is so much better than a cloth mouse pad for a lot of different reasons. One, just because I do think the accuracy and the lack of friction, or the reduced friction in comparison, is dramatic, along with just the easiness of being able to clean this is one of those that you just grab a microfiber cloth, wipe it down like that, and you're done. Where with the cloth mouse pads, mine is disgusting right now because I need to wash it and I just haven't had time for that. It also picks up grime and stains and all of that stuff. You don't get any of that with the glass mouse pad. I don't know how resistant to damage this is, just because I am aware that it's glass and therefore I treat it like it's glass. But it's one of those, like me hitting, kind of putting my mouse or something like that down, I'm not concerned that this is going to break. If I drop, say I have this metal blender bottle on it, especially from a height, I'd be a little more concerned that it would damage it. Also, I have some concerns of scratching, so I'm not going to necessarily put, say, like my iPad tablet directly on this, or say my phone directly on this, or something like that, just because I think that could scratch either my phone and or this. So there are some negatives there, of course. But in general, I just really like the feel of glass mouse pad, and it's going to last a lot longer than a cloth mouse pad, assuming that you take care of it. The other differences, of course, that is obvious, this guy is dramatically more lightweight. So the thickness for this guy is 3.2 millimeters compared to 1.5. So half of the thickness with this guy, which is surprising. This is also 2,000 grams compared to 920 grams. And you absolutely can feel that. This also has more of a textured control feel, which I would agree, which is the texture that I'm talking about, compared to the ultra smooth / speed feel. And then the friction level is moderate with this, which I would agree with, where this is low, or their fastest glide. This comes in black and white only, and then you have an in-between, the Yao standard, which allows you to have this design along with 2 other designs that they have, or your own custom design for either one of these or all 3 of these for $30 more. And then this comes with a different bottom, where this is more of a silicone, where this is a PU rubber base. So it's one of those that I kind of, both of these are grippy. I think this is actually more grippy than this is, but I'm wondering if, depending on what surface you're on, if one would work a little bit better than the other. Who knows? It also comes in excellent packing, which you can kind of see here. It's literally just a box, but inside said box, you have a ton of padding, where on the inside right here is where the mouse pad sits, and then this goes over it. Also, this is a great place for you to store or travel with this mouse pad, so you kind of get a 2-in-1 because it is just a nice high quality box that it comes in. I've tested this with a plethora of mice. Don't want to test it with this guy because it is glass mouse feet and glass mouse pad. Those do not mix, so you do not want to rub those things together because the likelihood of both of them scratching and or breaking is high. But I've tried it on the rest of my mice, which all have the normal PTFE feet, and all of them glide super well. I would say some of them glide better than others. For example, this one is pretty much brand new and also very ultra lightweight. Oh, it feels so good. And then the other lightweight, great mouse. This one is a little more scratchy, just maybe because it's got bigger feet, which is interesting. My heavy mouse feels wonderful on this. And then, of course, my other favorite mouse. So it's one of those, highly recommend. And you can just see just how easily, I don't know if you can, but yeah, I mean, this stuff just glides so easy on here that it's not a problem at all. The other aspect that I absolutely love, because it's so thin that when I'm using this, I don't notice that there's a bump here. With the other one, I noticed just a small, tiny bump. It wasn't all that noticeable, but this is one of those that I forget that this isn't just part of my desk, because it's just, I don't feel that bump at all. And then the other thing I like is that if I don't want to use it, I can put it underneath my normal cloth pad and not really feel it. I still feel it, but it's not to the same degree that I can feel the other one. Taking a quick look-see-loo through their Kickstarter page, we've got on the side here all the different versions that they have. So you've got the Essential that comes in at $109 or $169 retail, $129 for their Standard Edition or $199 retail, and then the Ultra, which is what I am reviewing here today, is $229 retail, or $149 if you get it before it releases on retail. The other one that I'm comparing it to in this review is going to be their standard, or their, sorry, not the standard, their essential, and then moving down, just because I think this is a great kind of comparison of all the differences. I'll let you pause the video and go through that if you so choose, but it's one of those, like I said, comparing this one and this one are the two that I've tried. I really enjoyed this one, but this one makes this one look so much worse, so I highly recommend. Also, if the only difference in design is their specific designs, I would probably forego that, because for an extra $30, you can customize any one of their options, so the Essential, the Standard, or the Ultra. And that's what I would do if I were you, is do your own that you would want to just get your own picture that you would like. So overall, all of that to say that I am a big fan of this guy. I definitely think if you're looking for a glass mouse pad, that this one would be hard to beat. This is the only thing I want to use when I'm gaming. I like to have my dog on my desk. I know that sounds super weird, but it's one of those that, like, I have a fight every time, because he likes to sit right here, which is also, of course, right where my mouse pad is. So if it's like, do I choose to have my dog on my desk while I'm gaming, or do I kick him off my desk or put him somewhere else on my desk so that I can use my glass mouse pad? And that's hard. The fact that I'm debating about kicking my dog off my desk just shows you that this truly is something that I do enjoy. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. And of course, if you've been following this content for a while, do hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions on this mouse pad, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will get back to you. Otherwise, God bless and have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.